As a journalist and a lawyer, I'm not here to undermine the legitimacy of the civic and, by the way, nonviolent jury process that we use to deal with these kind of disputes.
Now, I don't believe that at all. So wait. Did y'all hear that? This video is brought to you by Extreme Tees. Click on the link below. Make sure you put Kevin in the promo code and you'll get a 20% discount. Friends, do you feel uncertain about the future, especially with the holidays right upon us? You're wondering if there's anything you can do to protect yourself and your family from some unexpected food shortages? Well, yes, there is. Our friends at My Patriot Supply, they specialize in emergency long-term storage food, y'all. They are, like I always tell y'all, America's #1 preparedness company. And they're well stocked with the food that you're gonna need. See, other companies have run out of almost everything that they sell because they didn't prepare for what the world is going through right now. But My Patriot Supply, they walk the walk. You can trust this company. And right now, you can save $100 on their 3-month emergency food kit. This kit has enough food to get you through difficult times ahead. But don't you wait. You might just miss out. Go to preparewithkevinscorner.com and save $100 on your 3-month emergency food kit. That is preparewithkevinscorner.com. And to avoid holiday shipping delays, act now. Go to preparewithkevinscorner.com. Now let's get to this video. What's going on, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And welcome to part 3 of the race baiting bunch. In this section, we're going to feature how they now combine white liberals with black folks, angry black folks, that for some reason isn't angry with the white liberal who's allowing them to use his platform to spew out the anger. Okay, see, I guess for some reason he's not offended at what we're about to hear. Because he's assuming, perhaps, that these women that are about to show up on his show and push all of this garbage, they're not talking about him. No, they're not talking about him because he's a righteous white man that don't have any white privilege and all of that stuff, right? So y'all hear his opening. I'm just going to let you know what that's about because I'm here to expose this, the real psychology behind everything they do and say and how it actually hurts black folks and how they actually are taking advantage of black folks and their emotions. So now this bum starts off by trying to exclude himself to make himself appear to be neutral. Y'all see how it is? Now, I'm gonna let you know, I'm just as a lawyer, as a whatever, I'm not here to go ahead and try to compromise the whole justice system, but I really am. And I'm going to do it passively by allowing my guests to come on and do it. They're not guests here on my show for me to question and challenge. No, these are guests here for a purpose. And that's why I gave y'all the fake, modest introduction. I'm just letting you know I'm not involved in it, but I do know some people that are. So I'm going to sit back and nod while they take over. Are you guys ready for your race baiting session? Yes, we are. So let's hear it. Here we go.
This outcome, though, is controversial.
It is.
For a reason.
Yeah.
Let's be clear and honest about it here.
And that reason is you guys. There would be no controversy if it wasn't for the media distorting all of the information. That distortion is what created all the controversy. Because, see, if they would have looked at all the details and the facts that I saw, they would have been like, where's the controversy? This man defended himself from folks that were trying to kill him, and not to mention the folks that were trying to do it were all white. So why are we bringing 2 angry black women on our show to talk about racism when racism have nothing to do in this application? Or could it be black folks and others, white liberals, that this goal of this guy right here and the network that he works for is to bring up race and intertwine it into this somehow for a reason? And then you have to ask yourself, why? Why would they do that? Why would they use the most divisive subject you can use to put into this application if they're really about peace and harmony and calm? Interesting. Well, we're about to find out.
The reason is the evidence.
Oh, the evidence.
The reason is the facts. And the reason is the wider context of racism in America. We are joined by 2 experts who know the field. Rutgers professor Brittany Cooper and Brittany Packnett Cunningham, an activist and former member of President Obama's police task force.
All right, I already know where this is going. First of all, the reason is the evidence. No, that's not why.
That's not why we're here. The reason is race. We got to talk about this. No, we don't. We don't need to talk about race because these were all white people. Number one, the evidence shows that this man was found innocent. So as you mislead your audience by pretending that you're not here to talk about, undermine the justice system and all of that stuff, but we do have to talk about these things because of the reason is the evidence. Are you kidding me? That was settled by the jury. And if you watch the case, then you know that what is there to talk about. Then secondly, how did race become a factor in this? And so you bring on two of the most angriest black women to now talk about what? Race? Okay. And you're there to do what? Okay, we're about to find out what he's there to do.
The co-signing of the idea that this was self-defense is really by design, right? We watched the judge really set this up from the very beginning. And of course, that argument of self-defense was both to protect Kyle Rittenhouse, but it was also to give his supporters and people who think like him a lot of cover. I've been seeing today a lot of people using that cover to say, well, self-defense is not white supremacy. Black people and anybody who knows American history in this country know what white domestic terrorism looks like.
Really? Yes, I do. Yes. See, the history that you're talking about, angry black lady, is you're describing the Democrat Party. They're still doing it. They just switched up their game a little bit. They've updated the tactics. And they're still using black folks like you that they've elevated to a certain status and throw on TV to push the narratives that you're pushing, to control the mind of other black folks who don't think like you. Because you wouldn't be on this network if that wasn't your goal and objective. Same thing with the woman in between. And notice the white guy sitting there completely silent. Horrific accusations towards white folks that would technically put him in the same category of the white folks that they're talking about. But he's not offended by that. He's not pushing back. Why is that? Because he already knows what they're there for. His job is just to sit there and nod and shake his head and like, go ahead, race bait the heck out of this whole session. I'm just going to nod and go, yep, not talking about me though, right? Because I'm the good white guy. So let's finish hearing from this lady who's describing the history of the Democrat Party as if it's not.
Its function is to intimidate. When Ku Klux Klanners burned crosses, it wasn't to keep warm. It was to intimidate everyone who saw the flames for miles away.
Just like they're doing right now. And they've outsourced some of that burning and all of that stuff to Antifa and Black Lives Matter. See, so now all of a sudden they've empowered Black Lives Matter and Antifa to use the same tactics that they used to use back in the day. They're just now using black folks to do it. They're using white liberals and black folks to go and burn stuff and intimidate voters and threaten folks. You don't see a whole bunch of conservatives going around intimidating folks to vote the way they want by burning down their property. They're not going into neighborhoods, destroying stuff, flipping over stuff. They're not doing that. So what white folks are you talking about? Huh? The people you're talking about, you're not describing conservative white folks. And not describing conservative black folks. You're describing historical white liberal Democrats that claim you're talking about. That's them. The same ones that are still running your party that you vote for and using misinformed, ignorant, emotional, mad for nothing black folks to now do what they used to do. That's all they've done is updated their tactics. And now they're using folks like you and the ignorant black folks that's in there burning up stuff. And here she's talking about intimidation and burning stuff and has no idea how ignorant she is. And she's talking about the party that she supports. Because like I said, she wouldn't even be on this network if she wouldn't do what she's doing.
So make no mistake about what Kyle Rittenhouse was doing there.
What was he doing? He
was the aggressor.
Oh, he was?
Make no mistake about what the officers who let him walk by with that AR-15 visible wanted to communicate to the rest of us.
What were they trying to communicate? Please tell me. See, let me understand then her ideal of aggression. Okay, wiping down stuff. Going to put out a fire. Running away from a grown man chasing me, closing the gap. As he reaches for me, he gets himself shot. Looks pretty aggressive to me. Then leaving that area, running towards the police as a whole group of folks chase you. Then you trip, fall, they hit you in the head. You know, trying to reach for your gun. That sounds pretty aggressive to me. And then you have an opportunity to just kill one of them. But you just chose not to because, you know, he had his hands up. But then when he went to reach for his gun, Then you decide to shoot him. That sounds pretty aggressive to me. And then as you get up, you walk towards the cops like this, when in reality, you could have just opened fire on all of those folks running away from you. Sounds pretty aggressive? No, it sounds pretty ignorant. This woman right here is being paid to deceive. Yeah, she right now is the real sellout, y'all. But let's continue, though, because there's more anger coming.
Live in a country that said that slavery was legal, that said that lynching was legal, that said that segregation was legal.
All of that?
And today we are being asked to say that it is legal and to respect the rule of law because a white boy deputized himself and went out and terrorized people who were actually, using their constitutional right to protest.
Okay, see? Now, see, they're going to make me go off on her. See, so now, here's the other one. They tag teaming, okay? Now, she comes off the bench, and she's talking about a country that says slavery was legal and something. Democrats. All of the folks that she's defending, all of the folks that she votes for, the network that she's on, they're not conservative networks. These are Democrat voters. This whole network serves the Democrat Party, along with almost all these other social media networks and CNN and the rest of them. And their whole party is responsible for the history that she's describing. Now, what really kills me with this lady is then she goes into some other garbage. She goes into, because a white boy, now that sounds like she has a little animus towards white people. Why is this white man sitting there like, yeah, you're not racist at all? Well, of course you're not. He knows you're not racist, because if you were a real racist, you wouldn't be on the network. And he wouldn't be sitting there listening to you spew out all of this garbage. You're acting. You're doing what they paid you to do. Louis Farrakhan is not sitting right there because he's a real one. But these folks aren't. They're gatekeepers. Their job is to keep black folks thinking that racism is the major issue in this case. And it's not. And now here she is talking about a white boy. And it's all of that stuff. And then at the end of that, what did she say? The constitutional right to protest, and they come out to terrorize these peaceful protesters. Did you see what I saw? All of that stuff being burned, folks being attacked. Did you see the white dude who got himself killed first? Dropping the N-word? Talking about how he'd kill somebody and telling folks, shoot me, N-word, shoot me. Did you see any of that? Soul sister, no sister, no sister. That's what you really should be singing. This chick is off her rocker. But they put her out there to get us off our rocker too. But there's more coming from the race baiters, y'all. Here we go.
Right. And as the folks that they're allowing to deputize themselves in the streets brazenly flout anything that appears to look like justice, run amok, that we will kill anybody who gets in our way. Today, what we were told was that white self-defense trumps everybody else's sense of safety and protection in the streets, even when white folks are the folks carrying the gun and they are under no threat at all. As Kyle Rittenhouse admitted himself, he was not threatened. He didn't think there was a threat. He came there to intimidate, and he was allowed to do so. And then all of us are treated to his sense of relief.
What I don't understand is the white dude, once again, zeroing in on his face. Y'all see that face, that dumb look? Like I'm the white liberal that they put out here to prostitute myself. And sit back and listen to these two angry black women just go after white people. And I'm going, yes, you're so deep. You're so progressive in your thinking. Do you think if they really despise white people like they're pretending to, that he would be okay and excluded from that? I think he'd be a little uncomfortable, but he seems like he's really into what they're saying. But to add to that, he's not challenging any of the things that she just said. She said that Kyle came there to do this. He was not threatened. He was not feeling like he was in trouble. He came to intimidate. None of that is true. The facts, the evidence, none of that. The video footage, none of that supports anything that she just said. But his tail sits there like this. Yes. Now, do you think if this was a conservative on here and they were actually presenting the actual facts of the case, that he would sit there silent? This dude would have interrupted them like 50 times if they were black conservatives on here bringing out the real details of the case. He'd have interrupted them and undermined all of the evidence. He would have been, I hear what you're saying, but right now, notice his dead silence. Dead silence. Why do you think that? Just use your brain for a second. Why do you think that man's sitting there like, because they told him to go out there and give them a good 10 minutes of trashing white conservatives and bringing up racism as you sit there and pretend that everything they're saying is factual. But let's close it out, y'all.
As the verdict is being read, and the rest of us get no relief, right? The rest of us tonight, our souls feel heavy. We're on, heightened alert about our own protection and safety. But the law says that white relief is the thing that we should take away from this. So he gets to go home and sleep in his bed tonight, and the rest of us get to think about whether it's safe for us to go out and exercise our right to peacefully protest.
Since when? I mean, this is once again, y'all, as we close. This is that moment where all you got to do is think about this. Use your common sense. The inflammatory statements that she just made, do you really think white folks, or should I say black folks, over this case is sitting around going, well, wow, well, man, I'm scared now. I mean, now down there in Kenosha, that kid got off after those black folks and the rest of those white liberals were burning up stuff. And after he killed 2 white folks, my thought is now all of a sudden all of these white people are going to come in my neighborhood and kill me as a black man minding my business sitting in my house. No one challenges her because that's not the goal and objective. The goal and objective is to manipulate you. And I don't like it. So in our last session, we're going to allow us to hear with rational common sense black folks are thinking and saying, because we don't want to end negatively. I love black people too much to let us end on a negative note in regards to these idiots who allowed themselves to be prostituted and used by white liberal Democrats and others. So, part 4, y'all, we gonna go ahead and check out how real conservative, smart, intelligent black folks see this whole situation. See y'all in part 4. God bless you. Take care. Now, God bless y'all. Don't forget to hit that like button, share my videos. Also, don't forget to donate if you like Kevin's Corner. There are links in the bottom of this video. Check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. If you like the products, put Kevin in the promo code. You'll get a 20% discount. And what else? Oh, find me on Rumble in the Jungle. All right, God bless you all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.